Okay, let's end on this baseball scandal that broke a couple days ago where an astrophysicist did a test on 200 baseballs that was collected from around Major League Baseball. And despite the fact that Rod Manfred came out at the offset of the offseason last year and stated that the ball problem has been solved, there's only going to be one ball used, it has been found that is not the case. There is a juiced ball, there is a dead ball, and then there is a ball they call the Goldilocks ball, which is the ball that is just right. Now, obviously, 200 balls is a small sample size, okay? But I do want to state that Major League Baseball has come out and straight up said, absolutely not. We will not allow an independent third party to do any sort of investigation on this. You just got to trust us. Why doesn't everyone want to trust us? Manfred says from the bottom of his heart. What has baseball ever done to anybody to destroy this trust? Anyways, enough with the sarcasm. I'm going to let you take over here, Joel, because you have talked about this for years, literally since the beginning of 2021 when this kind of was an issue. And what's really interesting about this is players have screamed about the balls for 24 months now. And to find out
since
now
2017.
And to find out now that the balls, there is still a variance. And on top of that, these Goldilocks balls have all wound up being found, used during the playoffs, which I'm all for. Listen, and I for everyone listening, I'm not saying that if each team is playing with these balls, it's not an advantage in the game. However, in the league, it is a massive advantage, especially when you start getting into free agency. Look at what Aaron Judge just wound up getting, right? And these balls were found at Yankee Stadium in August and September as Judge chased this home run record. And it was found in the All-Star game. Obviously, again, I have no problem with that. But anyways, Joel, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just jump in? Sorry, that was the Goldilocks balls that were found predominantly there? Okay.
It's disgusting. Of course, they would say don't do a third party investigation. It's you go back a year ago. It's an anniversary. This one is an anniversary of the Dr. Meredith Wells discovery a year ago, where she cut them open and she found that monthly there were specific balls being used at specific times. That led, like, all I could think about at that time was, they've got two different kinds of balls. They know which ball is which. Okay. They know where the balls are going. This was talked about last season, especially during the Field of Dreams game, and how balls were just blasting off of bats, and how certain games, nationally televised games, seem to be a lot more offensively charged than others. Then all that you could think about in this betting world was insider trading. This is insider trading. That's what this is. You have the knowledge of where the balls are going. I know that this is juice balls are going out to the two biggest home run hitting teams in baseball, and their fifth pitchers are going. I'm going to bet on the over.
And like, Joel, this is a great point that maybe isn't being brought up enough, is the sports betting aspect of this. Because, like, look around. We all, I mean, frick, we've got a betting sponsor. They're everywhere. Like, it's driving the game.
Deflategate. We're talking about PSI in a football. That was such a story. I don't think sports analysts who are in general sports analysts and do that little cusp of baseball, they're like, I know this, I know what's going on my piece of paper today for baseball. They don't understand what's going on with the balls. They don't make a story about it because they don't know
that it's a story.
The seam height, the core of the ball, the mud put on the ball, all of these aspects have such a insanely massive altering effect on the ball. Okay, and it completely changes the game. 2017, when they bought Rawlings, they created their own, they own their means of production for baseballs. They own how the game will be played, and they get to tinker with it whenever the hell they want. 2019, they hit more home runs in that season than any season in baseball history. Way more, 16% more than any year in the steroid era. 16% more home runs just because they juice those balls, and all of a sudden opposite field hits that are going 92 miles an hour off the bat or going 15 feet over the fence.
Juice balls, not arms, kids.
The difference between the balls in 2019 to the balls used last year, the dead ones, 50 feet. You hit a ball 102 miles an hour to center field. One ball will go 380, another one will go 420. That's 40 to 50 feet in difference off the exact same impact. Okay. And you're getting over here and PSI on the football. Oh my God, the game. What have you done? What have you done to the honor and the sacredness of football? There's a couple less PSI in this football. You're doing things that turn an out that's 25 feet away from the wall into going 20 feet over the wall and 3 runs scoring. And nobody talks about
it. It's so apparent too that it's being manipulated by the league. I mean, just the chart of where these balls were being sent out. And listen, you know darn well, Adam, you're shaking your head. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, where are you at? Like, do you think we're overblowing this?
You guys give Major League Baseball so much more credit than they deserve. Like this whole, okay, first of all, it is absurd that there is this much of a discrepancy from ball to ball. Absolutely. And the fact that Major League Baseball is like not letting an independent whatever look at the balls is like shitty. But it is, I think, more ego based of like, no, we know what we're doing. We don't need dad checking our homework. Like, we're good. Are you guys familiar with the term like Hanley's razor? Hanlon's razor? It says never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. And that's
okay.
where I fall on this. Like, is this person trying to ruin it, or is this person just an idiot trying their best? And that's where I fall on Major League Baseball, is that they are not smart enough. I know, like, Pete Alonso has been like, oh, Major League Baseball is manipulating the ball on different contract years for pitchers or hitters or whatever. Like,
that's
people are getting paid. Like, it's not like across the league numbers are coming down. Money is being spent more than ever. It's just a matter of who's getting it. So I don't think this is actually a cost-saving strategy. The fact that like the Goldilocks balls are showing up more at Yankees games and the All-Star game, that's the Goldilocks ball. That by definition is the ball that isn't dead, but also isn't juiced. So if you were telling me that all the juiced balls were showing up at Yankees games because they were trying to push this home run record for Aaron Judge, that's more of a red flag to me than saying, no, all the Yankees balls were just perfect. They were right where they were supposed to be. And again, small sample size. 200 balls is like nothing.
I think it's disgusting that balls can be sent to specific games, and there isn't a standard. There isn't a league standard ball.
Sure, I agree. That's stupid.
There isn't. If there isn't one standard ball, there's 3. There isn't 2 now. There's 3.
I know, but like there was the same thing with like the COVID year where they played fewer games, and it was like, again, it was just a cost-saving measure. I don't think it was like a thing. It was like, well, we're using some of last year's balls, and this year we're doing balls differently, and we have some left.
I'm gonna fuck that. Fuck it. They bought Rawlings for $360 million.
They did buy Rawlings.
Yeah,
they bought it for $300. This was a plan. Completely planned. Manfred Satney watched the home run era of the 90s be the most explosive time financially in baseball. Those home runs, and then he's like, how can I do it so that the players don't get, accused of steroids? I'll juice the ball. And you get 2019, it's such an explosion of home runs. It's so ridiculous. And then
I don't like having to defend Major League Baseball, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But I think it could also just be explained as they bought Rawlings, and then they thought, oh, there are a bunch of redundancies and inefficiencies in this production line. We could bring our costs down from $3 a baseball to $1.75 per baseball if we use this kind of a yarn instead of this kind of a yarn.
3 different kinds of balls?
Again,
how is that more
incompetence. It's incompetence. We're gonna try things out. We're gonna see what works. I agree, a bad strategy, but I don't think that this is a scam to screw the Oakland Athletics so that they
Do you
are
think,
bad
Adam,
and
that
get to
this?
move.
Do you think that this is just being overblown then? Like, should this just be swept under the rug,
No,
or
it should
or
not
is
be
there
swept under the rug. It needs to be addressed. There needs to be like a proper. The ball needs to get sorted out. Like 3 different balls is stupid. Whatever the thing is, but I think again, I think this is a back
But
to
it's beyond that.
look,
It's
I love my food
height.
analogies. This is a chili recipe that they've added too much salt to, and now they're trying to add different ingredients to try and make it an edible chili again. Like
Yeah.
they're just tinkering way too much. They need to go back to the original recipe, throw out all of these balls, go back to whatever Rawlings was doing pre-2019, and just leave it there.
Go to Spalding.
Sure.
Sure,
Whatever.
buy Spalding.
Go to
Just go to
Wilson and have Tom
No,
Hanks
go
be
to a.
the-
I'm
the
saying go to a
spokesperson for all
company
I
that
care.
isn't owned by MLB.
Well, they're
right?
not going to
Don't-
do that now. They're not like once
I feel like
monopolies
they
get
should
more
be forced to
monopoly,
do
they
it.
don't ever give. Well, okay, let's
I
have
feel like
Congress break up
somebody-
baseball.
I feel like the Senate should step in and say, "You fucked it up so much here. This is embarrassing. This is ridiculous. You can't be in charge of your baseballs anymore." It's been since 2017. Every year is a bigger mockery than the last. You can't
Joel,
just
Joel,
say
I
how
love your
awful it is.
passion so much, buddy. I
There's-
really do,
There's
man.
no way the Senate or Congress does. I understand when they stepped in and addressed like the steroid issue because it's like health and you're influencing kids and kids are going to take steroid. Kids aren't going to hurt themselves by throwing a different baseball. But who could step in is the betting companies of the world, the DraftKings, all these
Mhm.
companies that go, "Hey, you need to get
Enough.
your house in order. Like we can't have betting on your sport while you guys are this incompetent." So if DraftKings comes up, this is what should happen. DraftKings should take over baseball manufacturing.
Sure. Honestly, like it's the idea that someone knows in advance where the balls are going is scary, right? And then you find out later, hey, the balls went here. Well, did somebody know that in advance? Well, absolutely, because they seem to be specified going in certain positions.
I
Like
agree.
that's the
There's just-
scarier part.
There's just a hole in the logic that says, well, most of the Goldilocks balls went to the Yankees. Like,
But that
again,
means that means specific balls are going specific places,
Sure,
which is
that's
terrifying, isn't it? Isn't that a scary
If
idea?
that's-
that
if that's the
somebody is
case, I
making
just
a
think
decision
if
on where
someone
balls
was-
are going.
If someone wanted to manipulate the game, they would send the juiced balls to the Yankees games, not the Goldilocks balls, not the perfectly balanced ones. So that's the hole in the logic that I can't get past myself. Kudos
But
to
if
both
you-
of you if you can. I can't. That's my hang up.
If you have a juice ball that goes 40 foot more than a dead ball,
Mhm.
and then you have a consistent ball that's consistent. A game that's played with a dead ball is a different game than a game that is played with a Goldilocks ball and with a juice ball. And to then send specific balls to a specific team is one of the biggest fucking crazy things I've ever heard of in my life. And this should be the #1 story across the league. It's
Sorry,
not like
kids.
nobody
There's
talks
a lot of
about it.
language in this episode. I love it.
There's like nobody talks about it. I just don't understand it. This is huge. This should be like just across the front page of every sports section. Baseball, biggest
Do you
scandal
guys-
ever.
Here's what
You
I think
guys-
it comes down to. I think it is we got a bunch of shitty dead balls. Let's just send them to Oakland because no one's gonna care there anyways. I just think it's that. Like if there was intentional sending bad balls to spots, it's like let's send them to the bad play. I don't think it was as much. Let's send the anyways. I love.
Do you
that we
guys
can
wanna
disagree
hear-
on this?
Let's end on this, but do you guys want to hear my MLB conspiracy
Yes,
theory?
please.
Okay. So we all are aware of the World Series goose. Right? Remember the goose that
Yeah.
landed on the field? Then they chased that goose around. And they eventually threw a blanket over him. And the last we saw of that goose was him being shoved into a garbage can as they hauled him to the back of the stadium. I don't think that goose is out there, guys. I think that goose is not on
job.
some farm flying around. I think that goose is gone, baby. That goose is cooked.
Oh, what a
Well,
great note to end on, Scott.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Really appreciate it. You can follow us at Walk Off Podcast on Twitter, the Walk Off Podcast on Instagram. Joel, my friend, always a pleasure
Yes,
having you
great
on the
talk.
show. Give yourself
Yeah.
a little plug there in your most excellent TikTok channel.
Oh yeah. Hey, Kami, I got the side right this time. On TikTok. You guys can come check me out. I actually had, I didn't bring this up, but I have a short film that I wrote 2.5 months ago, and it's doing the festival circuit right now, and it's actually won a bunch of awards. So
amazing, dude.
Awesome.
Congrats.
yeah, next time I come on, I'll give you guys a trailer for it. And then,
Amazing.
Can't
and then
wait,
the series
buddy.
is finally done too, which took an extra 6 months, but all that stuff's going well. So yeah, come check me out there, and then maybe I'll have some movie stuff for you right away.
Love it.
Glad to hear it. All right, let's call it there. Cheers, everybody. Take care.